Excuse me. I believe you have my stapler.
Fight!
Staple versus! All right, if you guys don't know how this one works, we are going to read or pick two cards. What are you doing with your ears?
You're just telling them to listen up.
Listen. All right, we have two cards. One could technically be a staple. Both could be staples. We only have one spot left in a deck.
Yes.
We're assuming that in this case, it's going to be a blue and white deck because we were dealing with Cyclonic Rift and Ajani. And then you guys have to decide which card fits in that last spot in your deck. You can decide. It could be a deck that you may play this card a lot, or just in your opinion, this just fits better in the kind of deck you're doing. So that you guys are voting.
What the fuck? That's not what you normally say. It just is working, especially for this episode.
I don't know what you are talking about.
Motherfucker.
So last week we had Blade of Selves versus Helm of the Host.
Uh-huh.
And the winner, by the way, gets to wear a fantastic looking crown.
Okay, find my crown.
Okay.
I haven't worn it yet.
You can just kind of leave it there.
How bad was it?
Let's start off with the Discord.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, let's start off the other way around. Discord's always a little brutal. So 76% of the vote from YouTube went to Helm of the Host, which I think that just does.
I mean, that just kind of wins it though.
Yeah,
they have the most votes, right?
Twitter,
why start out that way? Just put on your fucking crown now.
Because I like to rip Discord after.
All right.
Twitter went 71% for Helm of the Host and Discord. So we have 71, 76, trending. It's like, okay, Discord should be, know, even if it's 50% right on the nuts.
I don't know what that means. They could mean a lot of things.
50%.
It could mean a lot of things, but I think that also means I'm going to wear the crown.
No, it's not what you get to do. You may get to next week
because Discord is what matters most. And if you want to become a Patreon, you can go to Patreon.
What, a Patreon? If you want to become a patron. All right, I think I got it.
We're sponsored. That'd be great if we got sponsored by Patron, and that'd be like, go to Patreon to become a patron and be sponsored by Patreon.
I should win this week in a landslide, but this is not going to happen.
Patron.
Today, Junior.
We need to get that sponsor.
Do you really want to be taking Patron while we're doing this? That'd be awful. Every episode would end this way, wasted.
Way worse. All right.
All right. So, what two do we have this week?
My glasses are fogging up.
Yeah, they are. Should I start it this week? With,
you can.
Okay. Oh man, this is ridiculous. Okay, Cyclonic Rift.
I don't even have to say anything.
Yeah, you're gonna do the whole thing of just that is it. Like I talked
you just
about.
Keep
before.
going. Don't worry about me.
All right, so Lowery has Cyclonic Rift. If you guys don't know, that is the blue staple of.
Oh, it's gonna win. It's fine.
Shut up. No, it isn't. I got a lot of things going against it. I, on the other hand, have a Ajani, Strength of the Pride. And this,
what does that do?
What is going on? It is 2 colorless and 2 white for a planeswalker. And when it comes in, it comes with 5 loyalty. And if you have at least 15 life more than your starting total life, exile it and each artifact and creature your opponents control. So it doesn't it doesn't bounce it, it exiles it. So it gets around indestructible, it gets around hexproof, or not that Cyclonic Rift doesn't, but this exiles everything. So,
I mean, that sounds good in theory. Yeah.
The other thing is, let's say this is early on in the game. I can play this card and start gaining life, or I can start making creatures. When you have Cyclonic Rift, you're not going to play it early on in the game. It just has to sit in your hand. Just sit there. And then when you want to play it, if you want to be all surprisey with it and leave your 7 mana open, then you have people like Lowery that are like, that player has Cyclonic Rift, everybody attack them, and force them to use their Cyclonic Rift. And then when it gets bounced, you can still play those cards.
Okay.
It's no big deal.
So we're gonna assume that this is a life gain deck, right? Did you say that when I was wheezing?
No, life gain deck.
This you are considering this for a life gain deck. Let's try and even the planes here
and creatures or planeswalkers, because you need for its +1 is gaining, or I guess it could be strictly life gain. Could be just that. Yeah, you're right.
So you got a couple of options there with Ajani. You can gain a little bit of life, or you can make
a
creature that nobody wants to play anyway for 2 mana, but this is 4 mana.
Oh, come on.
Or you can do a fair impression of Cyclonic Rift, which is Cyclonic Rift, if you don't know, is blue colorless, return target non-land permanent to that player's hand, and then you can overload it for 7.
How many decks is this in?
Probably 500,000.
How many of your decks?
6, 7, 8.
You said 1 or 2 earlier.
Yeah, but this is Staple versus now. So
so line comes in over embellishing. Probably every single blue deck I have. It's every deck.
I got a lot. I have 16 decks total, and I probably have it in 16 of them. And I definitely have like a Trey Lasara green-white deck that Cyclonic Rift is in there. Yep. Thank God there's proxies. And so, like, I mean, it does a fair impression of Cyclonic Rift. Cyclonic Rift, you can overload it for 7 and return all non-land permanents to each opponent's hand.
Boring.
It's one-sided. What do you mean it's
boring.
boring? Because it's so fucking good that it's in every fucking blue deck.
Boring.
It's casual. It's competitive.
Get an imagination. Build a better deck.
What? No. That's... When somebody says you need to build a better deck, you put Cyclonic Rift in it for that to happen.
It's so boring. Just stick it in there. It has to. It's so boring.
What? I've never had a lady tell me that.
We're both going the same joke.
All right. Sorry.
Just stick it.
Steal it.
No, it was good. We tag teamed that one.
All right.
Oh yeah.
No, we did not.
Just stick it in there.
Okay, there was permission asked beforehand, at least.
Well, I was wheezing in the background.
Yikes. But you forget that Cyclonic Rift also has that different mode. You can bounce a card.
That is the weakest mode. That was my big negative.
Absolutely.
This has 3 modes. This actually, Ajani has 3 modes. It only costs 4. So you're looking at 7. And if you're leaving your 7 up, like, it's a turn, like, nothing happens. No one actually attacks you.
But you're in blue. You could do everything at instant speed.
You're in white as well. You're in blue and white. So
blue and white. Yeah, you're right. White does make it worse. I mean, that's a good point. Cyclonic Rift is blue.
Right? So what does that do?
That was me just going blue. And
blue.
It's like,
that's amazing.
It's fine.
It's so boring. Only beginners use Cyclonic Rift. Are you
was
a beginner?
Was that start at the top of your paper saying it's boring? Was that your main hate against Cyclonic Rift?
No, I'm just my main hate was how many
curious.
decks do you have it in?
Well, I'm gonna lie for that. That is the concept. You know, if somebody's like, "How big is it?" Like, "Oh, of course I'm 7 or 8. That's fine."
It's funny that you don't reverse that question back to me. That's the funny part that you didn't.
I wouldn't do that because I know it's in like 4 decks.
No,
and so
I don't have blue. I only build red.
No, okay. How many decks do you have Ajani in?
Oh, I don't have Ajani. I only build red. So
yeah, yeah, like it's not even good enough to go into any of your decks. Why would anybody else want to play that?
No, I meant
how many decks is it on EDH Rec?
No,
it's got to be like
not,
20, right?
You didn't get what I meant by the reversing. I meant to say the Cyclonic Rift to me because it's the opposite of you.
Oh, but we've been doing this for 4 years now. We know it's in every blue deck you have. I almost broke my camera there. Yes, it is. Yes. It's even in your Eureka deck where it doesn't make sense.
No, you know those MTG switcheroos? I took it all out last week. All those.
That's a lie. That is a lie.
I don't know what you're talking
about. I
see
it in your crown jewels.
Is that fancy?
You look weird with that crown on. Take it off. It's weird. It'll feel good to wear it next week.
I also had 7 mana. That's a lot. People can plan for it. People can also. You know what also happens? See, Ajani can win the game because it exiles their stuff. If you can't finish the game with Cyclonic, which that's a lot of times what's happening is people just cast Cyclonic to just be like, you're coming at me, Cyclonic Rift everything, and then everybody builds, they get it back to their hand, and then they go, all right, now we're going after that player. And I still have all the cards in my hand, so now I'm just going to cast everything. I'll get my more ETBs because I still have all that stuff in my hand. And now we just go after that player, and it's 3 against 1. And if that, I don't see Cyclonic Rift win too often. You know, I see it unless it's played as the last. Well,
generally it's you playing it, and generally you're behind.
So
you got to play it defensively.
I play red. I play red.
So, okay, here I think you're making a really good point for Cyclonic Rift, so I appreciate that. So the thing that Cyclonic Rift can do is it can be played defensively or offensively.
You can also check out episode 168 where we talk about how to fight Cyclonic Rift, and there's a lot of ways to fight that card.
Yeah. Yep. And it's pretty simple to fight against Ajani because Ajani is not necessarily a defensive card, because if you're on the defense, you're more than likely losing and not meeting the life requirement.
So if you play this early enough, you could just take over. That's what I was saying.
I would probably over with Ajani's Pride Mate. What are you? Yeah, it's gonna be a sweet ass 4/4.
No.
Is that what you want?
You
Turn 8 4/4
creatures and your planeswalkers.
God.
You could do it could be a white and blue planeswalker deck, and it could even be more colors. We just know it's at least blue and white. So this could be in a planeswalker type of deck.
Yeah.
This could do some damage, buddy.
I mean, it could. I agree, but not always.
Neither is
Cyclonic Rift will always.
It'll always
damage.
Bounce it, and then you become the arch enemy, and everybody kills you.
What?
You either
if you make a better deck, you're just going to win. You're going to knock out 1 or 2 players.
You're
either
going to get killed. You either have to win the game or you're dead. It's the 1 or 2 options.
And Ajani only works if you're ahead. It's like a win more card.
Right. But
you're like, I'm getting all this life. I'm going to land it, and then you definitely will win the game.
You have 3 options of doing this. You can make a creature that can keep getting bigger. If you're in a gain life deck, that creature does some crazy shit.
This is going to be a gain life deck. I agree, but
that 2/2
Cyclonic Rift is just better, generically better. So, like you're saying, it's boring.
So wait. We're building a deck that's with life gain, right?
Yes. Yep.
So Ajani fits in the theme, right?
Oh, you think people go by theme?
Yeah. Doesn't it fit with the theme? We do.
We do. I don't know anybody smoking weed.
That wasn't even a good joke.
You said we do. Weed. Ooh.
Weed. Ooh.
Ooh.
That was a stretch there, Lau. What's in that colorful tie-dye beer you got there?
True story, bro.
So Ajani fits in the theme while also having removal built in on it. So you can gain life, you can make creatures and gain more life, or that creature gets bigger. And you can also remove all of everybody's stuff. Whereas Cyclonic
since you're in white,
you're just shoving it in.
You're so in such a bad spot that you need to just play better cards, which is where Cyclonic Rift comes into play.
No, your Cyclonic Rift is just your, I'm playing a staple and I'm just gonna throw it in here and not even think.
Now,
I don't think about
I know this sounds.
things.
I'm not saying this because you're wearing a crown, but you're talking like Jughead in my head, my mind. And so, like, I don't think that's appropriate. Like, are there that many like Neanderthals that
And
like
the other part of it
talk
is,
like that and
we're
play
playing-
like 500,000 decks that Cyclonic Rift is in? Like,
okay,
that can't be
who
wrong.
cares? That's fine.
Wow.
But that's not the deck we're
Wow.
building here. The deck we're building is a life gain deck. Is blue good at life gain? I think if we went back to what we talked about in this episode earlier on that our colors,
Yeah.
what did we establish white was good at instead of
Like nobody else is good at life gain other than white.
what did we say
Yep,
that
I
it
agree.
should have been instead of equipment? It should have been life.
There was
right?
a reason why
Right?
white was first, because it's the worst. First is the worst in this case.
But we just talked about this deck is a life gain deck. So
Yeah.
this is life gain.
Yeah.
It fits with what you're doing. Cyclonic
Here.
Rift is gaining new life.
Here's the example that like mono white life gain just isn't good enough. You have to add in something else to like deal with issues in a game.
We don't know
and
if
you're
it's a
adding in
three-color
blue to
or
like
black
deal with issues.
or-
And Cyclonic Rift would be the number one thing that you add in to make a life gain deck better.
Cyclonic Rift, you're adding it in because you didn't play. You're playing white. You have enough removal. That's normally okay. Let me be honest with you. Cyclonic Rift goes in my decks where I don't have enough removal, an answer for everything.
Yeah.
You're playing with white.
You're playing
just-
mono. You're
Whoa.
playing life gain,
Whoa.
which you need.
Whoa. We
a
also
lot of
just
life
talked
gain.
about spot removal and how good white was. So you're proving my point on two things
Not
here.
fair.
Yeah.
That's not fair. We can't use examples that we talked about from the
So you talked about white having the best removal.
just
That
like
is
two,
what Cyclonic
just
Rift
like
is
two or
for
three
me.
of them.
Cyclonic Rift is never in my deck as a game winner. It is my removal package. You have white. You have your removal package. Fuck Cyclonic Rift.
Yep.
Fit Ajani in there because it fits your theme of life gain. And it has removal built in on it. You have the best of both worlds. It's right there. It's good.
I think it's obvious that you won. That's.
No, you could have not
I
said
think it's
anything.
obvious.
You could have
It's
done with
obvious.
what we
I
talked
could've-
about the drop
I
the
could have
mic
easily.
thing.
We could have been done 5 minutes ago. I apologize to everybody.
Instead, we made a 2-hour
fine.
episode. It's okay.
Yep.
We're good at
It's
this.
fine. We're maybe there's a card out there that I don't know that it's like whenever somebody returns a card to their hand that you gain 1 life. And if that was in play, Cyclonic
I'll
Rift
say
would
this.
be just
I'll say
good.
this. This will be my end statement. It's if you're a good, unique deck builder that
Wow.
likes to build on themes instead of just throwing staples in all the decks, you would pick Ajani.
Wow. What a
If you-
fucking guilt trip.
If you just like to throw
Okay,
crap
Grandpa.
at
What are
the
you-
wall,
Grandpa
and
and
you're just like,
Grandma,
"Well,
what are you-
what
which one are
does
you today?"
EDH Rec say I should build here? Oh, I guess I'll put in Cyclonic Rift because it says I should do it. It's the top blue card in the color, whatever. Then you put
It's the
Cyclonic
top.
Rift.
Did you just say that? It is the top used card in blue for a
Well,
reason.
Counterspell.
For
I think
a
is number-
reason.
I think Counterspell is the top. Actually, I will look it up right now because I have it right here. Okay, so you guys can vote. Do you have any more arguments, Lowery? Yep, Counterspell is number 1. So that's how shitty Cyclonic Rift is. It's not
All
even
right.
the number 1 spot.
Wow. Where's Ajani?
It doesn't filter in Planeswalkers
Oh,
cards.
you mean just like it doesn't filter in bad cards?
No, it doesn't like to have Planeswalkers in there.
I don't think that's how that works. I've been on EDH Rec once.
I don't think you have because that's how it works now. They changed it earlier today.
Did they today? Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why. They're like Planeswalkers just need to be on their own separate thing, and so
I don't know if you checked beforehand, but what was it beforehand?
they changed it
before
already. I
today,
can't-
so like this
I can't-
morning,
I can't find it because they changed.
maybe
it.
lunchtime. I'm
didn't-
assuming that they changed
didn't
it like
screenshot
tonight
it.
during dinner time.
They might
You
change it back.
I mean, if you
Let's
did
see.
screenshot it, I doubt Ajani would show up at the top.
It's up there. It's
Yeah,
It's
like number 50.
it's somewhere in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mono white staples. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Okay, so you guys can vote for which card should fit in this deck. Like I said, if you're a good deck builder, you know which one to choose.
Yeah, if you're good at it, Cyclonic Rift. If you're thematic, then it'd
you guys can vote
Ajani, I guess.
On the commander.
How about this? If you play Ajani Pridemate in a deck, then you would probably want to put this in the deck. Maybe. Over Cyclonic Rift.
You guys can vote on the community tab at YouTube. You can vote on Twitter. And if you're a part of the Discord, you can vote there. So you got 3 places to vote. We'll see if Lowery wears a crown next week.
We'll see.
It'll be your first week. Woo.